Picture this. You're walking down the hall of a hospital maternity ward, and you spot a tiny newborn resting quietly under this intense, glowing blue light. It's a striking image, right? And man, if you're a parent, it can be a deeply emotional one too. Welcome to this explainer. Today we're going to look right past all that intimidating hospital equipment and uncover the absolutely fascinating science behind that blue light. We're going to find out exactly what happens on a molecular level when that light hits a newborn's skin.
You know, it's completely natural to feel this huge wave of anxiety when doctors place your brand new baby under what essentially looks like a neon tanning bed. The main question every parent is asking in that exact moment is just, what is that light actually doing to my baby? Well, today, I promise you, we are going to walk through that microscopic journey step by step. We'll see how this totally simple light performs a literal photochemical miracle to save lives.
Okay, so here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering what is jaundice, how phototherapy works, eliminating bilirubin from the body, alternative treatments, and finally, we'll break down facts versus myths. Let's dive in.
Section 1. What is jaundice?
To really appreciate the cure here, we first have to meet the villain of our story. It's the stubborn, sticky little molecule that secretly builds up inside a baby's body during those crucial first few days of life. It's called unconjugated bilirubin. So when a baby's red blood cells break down, they release a byproduct called heme, which eventually turns into this unconjugated bilirubin. And here's the catch. Because it's fat-soluble, it doesn't mix with water. That means the baby can't just pee it out. Even worse, if levels get too high, that fat-soluble nature actually allows it to cross the blood-brain barrier. And that can cause permanent, devastating neurological damage known as kernicterus.
So, you might be wondering, why does this happen specifically to newborns? Well, think of the baby's liver as a newly built highway toll booth. The workers, specifically an enzyme called UGT1A1, they just aren't fully up to speed yet. Combine that immature toll booth with a massive traffic jam of breaking down fetal red blood cells, plus slower newborn digestion that actually reabsorbs the bilirubin, and boom, you get a massive backlog. This backlog spills right out into the tissues, and that's what causes that visible yellowing of the skin and eyes.
Section 2. How phototherapy works. Now, let's shift gears. Let's stop looking at the problem and start looking at the brilliant, elegant science of the light itself. Phototherapy isn't just shining a light on a baby. It is a chemical bypass road. Normal bilirubin, called ZZ bilirubin, is trapped. It's just sitting there, waiting for that slow liver toll booth. But when the right light hits it, it literally changes shape, transforming into something completely different called lumirubin. This new shape is incredibly special because it is water-soluble. It completely bypasses the liver's toll booth and takes the fast lane straight out of the body. No waiting required.
Let's break down exactly how this happens under that specific blue-green light, which peaks right between 460 and 490 nanometers. First up, we have configurational isomerization. That's basically a quick shape shift that makes the molecule a little less sticky. But the real star of the show is step 2, structural isomerization. This is what creates that lumirubin we just talked about, and it is a one-way trip. Once the light morphs the molecule into lumirubin, there's no going back. Finally, a small amount undergoes photooxidation, where it breaks down into tiny fragments. And get this, all of this is happening right there in the skin, just millimeters below the surface.
Section 3. Eliminating bilirubin.
Okay, so the light has done its job. It's altered the physical structure of those molecules trapped in the baby's skin. Now the baby's own body takes over to finish the job. This is the exit strategy, and honestly, it's a beautiful thing to understand. Because these newly shaped molecules are no longer fat-soluble, they just let go of the proteins in the blood, they flow effortlessly through the bloodstream, they don't need that immature UGT1A1 liver enzyme anymore, they just slip directly into the bile and flush out right through the kidneys. This is exactly why, if you ever have a baby undergoing this treatment, nurses will tell you, hey, don't worry if you notice their diapers are a bit darker or more watery. It just means the exit strategy is working perfectly.
Section 4. Alternative treatments.
While light truly is a miracle worker for the vast majority of cases, medicine always has a backup plan for when the light alone just isn't quite enough to beat that traffic jam. Think of these escalation protocols as thorough medical safety nets. The first line of defense is simple: increased feeding. More fluids mean faster bowel movements, giving that bilirubin way less time to be reabsorbed. Now, if the jaundice is caused by an immune conflict between the mother's blood and the baby's, which causes really rapid red blood cell destruction, doctors can use IVIG to essentially quiet the immune system down. And in the absolute most extreme, dangerous cases, they use an exchange transfusion. That's where they literally, physically remove the bilirubin-rich blood and replace it with clean donor blood. So how do doctors know exactly which tool to use? Well, this brilliantly illustrates the precision of neonatal care. Notice that the age here isn't measured in days, it's measured in hours. To put that into perspective, a bilirubin level of 12 is perfectly safe if a baby is 72 hours old, but that exact same level is an absolute emergency at 12 hours old. Doctors meticulously map the baby's exact age against these precise levels to calculate instantly whether they need standard light, intensive light, or those extreme escalation measures. It is incredibly controlled.
Section 5. Facts versus myths.
Look, when it's your own child in that hospital bassinet, abstract science isn't always enough to calm the nerves. It is probably the most pressing anxiety you can have. Is it actually safe to leave my tiny, fragile newborn under an intense, glowing, humming device for hours or even days on end? Is it radiating them? Is it burning them? Well, let's settle this definitively, based on the data.
Here is the undisputed medical reality. The light is completely safe. It is absolutely not UV radiation, it's just highly specific wavelengths of visible blue-green light. It physically cannot burn the skin, it does not cause cancer, and because it's literally just light energy, it leaves absolutely zero toxins behind in the baby's body. Now, you might be wondering, well then why do they put those little sunglasses or blindfolds on the babies? It is simply to protect their sensitive newborn eyes from the sheer brightness of the bulb, and nothing more. This has been the global, proven standard of care for over half a century.
And that brings us to the biggest myth of all, one that gets passed down through generations. Just put the baby in the sun. Guys, this is a really dangerous misconception. Relying on direct sunlight is both unsafe and ineffective. In fact, leading health authorities like the Saudi Ministry of Health, cited in our source material, explicitly warn against using sunlight as a treatment. The sun contains harmful UV rays that can easily burn a baby's delicate skin, and it simply doesn't provide the targeted, intense 460 to 490 nanometer wavelength required to quickly restructure those stubborn molecules. Medical phototherapy really is the only safe answer.
So, what should you take away from this explainer? The next time you see that glowing blue light in a hospital, don't just see a lamp. See it for what it truly is, a precise, life-saving photochemical reaction. It is applied biochemistry at its absolute finest, silently working to alter the very shape of dangerous molecules, essentially buying precious time for a newborn's tiny liver to catch up and mature. It really is a modern medical miracle.
Which leaves us with this final thought to ponder. If aiming a highly specific beam of blue-green light at human skin can instantly re-engineer toxic molecules and save a newborn's brain from permanent damage, what other profound medical miracles are just waiting to be discovered inside the everyday spectrum of light? Thank you so much for exploring this with me, and keep questioning the incredible science happening all around us.